Alright, this video is over Standard 45, which is solving systems of equations by graphing. So we're going to be talking about solving systems of equations, which is a set of at least two equations with the same variables. So previously we were talking about solving linear equations with just one linear equation. So now we're going to have a set of them, and we're going to be mainly talking about a set of two equations. So the solution to a system of equations will look like a point, or it can be multiple points that lie on both lines of the system. So that would be where the two lines would intersect. Okay, so when we're talking about a system of equations, we're going to have three different possible solutions. So one type of solution is just where we have one solution. So here in this example, I have two linear equations graphed. So the one solution would be where these two lines intersect, okay, so right here at this point, because they just cross at one point, so that's one solution. Okay, and we're going to name these points, remember, just with x, y coordinates. So in this example, we would actually name this x, y coordinate, and that would be our solution. So this point is the point 2, negative 1. Okay, so our solution to this would be the point 2, negative 1. Alright, so no solution. So here's one of my lines. Okay, that's one linear equation. And then I would have another linear equation that would look like this. Okay, so this is an example of what no solution would look like. So these are two parallel lines. Parallel lines are never going to intersect, or they're never going to cross. So that's why we have no solution, because they're never going to intersect each other. Then the last type of solution is infinite solutions. Okay, so here's one of my lines. Then my second equation is going to be right on top. Oops, let's try that again. Second line is right on top of this one. Okay. And these are going to cross, since they're two lines right on top of each other, these are going to cross at an infinite number of points. Okay, so there's all of these points along this line that these two lines are going to cross. So that's why we have infinite solutions. Okay, infinite, remember, means that it goes on forever and ever and ever. Alright, so example 1 says solve the system of equations. So what we're going to have to do is, since both of these are in slope-intercept form, we're going to start by graphing them, and we're going to see what their solution is. Okay, so remember, these are in y equals mx plus b form. Okay, so m being our slope, b being our y-intercept, and we're just going to graph this. Okay, so I'm going to start with this first line. My y-intercept is 3, the point 0, 3, so I'm going to go to 3 on my y-axis and put a point. Okay, my slope would be 4 over 1. So from this point I just made here, I'm going to go up 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. To go the opposite direction, I'd move down 4 over 1. Okay, and then we want to make sure that we draw a nice straight line through our points. Alright, so then now, since it's a system of equations, I have to graph both of them. Okay, so the second one, I have y equals negative x minus 2, so I'm going to start down here at negative 2. Okay, remember our slope is going to be a negative 1 over 1, so I'm going to go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. It's important that you're continuing these points all the way through your graph, so we're also going in the opposite direction so that we can easily see where these cross. Okay, now I'm going to draw my line through these points. Alright, so remember, our directions tell us to solve the system. Okay, so when I'm solving the system, I'm finding this point that the two lines intersect. Okay, so this point right here would be the point negative 1, negative 1. Okay, so this is the solution to our system of equations. Alright, example 2. We have our first equation is just y equals negative 1. Okay, so remember, this is y equals negative 1 is like saying y equals 0x minus 1. So this is saying we have a slope of 0. Okay, so my y-intercept is negative 1. And if I have a slope of 0, that's going to give us a horizontal line. Okay, so I'm going to draw my horizontal line through negative 1. Alrighty. Then my second equation, y equals negative 5 over 2x plus 4. my y-intercept's a positive 4, so I'm going to go up to 4 on my y-axis. And then if I have a slope of negative 5 over 2, I'm going to go down 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over to the right 2. Okay, and I want to continue this down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, over to the right 2. All right, and then I'm going to draw my line through my points. Okay. I didn't go in the opposite direction because there's not space to go up 5 and left 2, but if there was space, I would move up 5, left 2. Okay, so then my solution to my system would be where these two lines cross. Okay, so they cross right here at this point, which this point on the x-axis is 2, y-axis is negative 1, so my solution is this point to negative 1. Alrighty, example 3. So for example 3, my first equation, I have y equals negative 2x plus 2. So my y-intercept is going to be this value right here, 0, 2. Okay, so I'm going to go on my y-axis, put a point at 0, 2. And then my slope is a negative 2, which remember if that's a whole number, we put it over 1. So from here, from this point, I'm going to go down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. Okay, I'm going to keep going all the way through my graph. Okay, now I'm also going to go in the opposite direction. So for the opposite direction, I move up 2, left 1, since I still want it to be negative. Alright, I'm going to draw my line all the way through my graph. Okay, for the second one, my equation is y equals negative 2x minus 2. So notice my y-intercept's a negative 2. So I need to start down here at a negative 2 on the y-axis. Okay, and then again, put this over 1. So I have a slope of negative 2 over 1. So I'm going to move down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. Go the opposite direction, so I'm going to move up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1. Okay. And then let's go ahead and draw our line all the way through our points. Alright, so remember our directions tell us to solve the system of equations. So in the previous examples, our system of equations, they cross at a point, okay, and that was our solution. In this example, our two lines never cross because they are parallel lines. Okay, so since they are parallel lines, they never cross. This is an example of no solution. Okay. And something I want you to notice is when it's no solution, when we have two parallel lines, our slopes are going to be the same. Okay, so we notice here we have a slope of negative 2, and in this second equation we also have a slope of negative 2. Okay, so anytime those slopes are the same, that's going to give you two parallel lines when the y-intercepts are also different. That example is no solution. Alright, so 2 you try problems. Go ahead and try these problems. Remember, to get full credit, you have to attempt both of these problems. So use your graph paper, solve the system of equations by graphing.